Let's welcome today's first contestant, Mrs. D. A pair of feet walked slowly. I was in the spotlight in a mask and a gorgeous gown, and I was the number 9. The host walked over and wow, unexpectedly, our 9 player would have killed the whole audience in seconds without showing his face. I said thank you, but I was stunned. It was the first time I had heard such a sweet sound from myself. The host explained that this was specially made by our program team to prevent the identity from being judged from the voice. Then I'll make sure to make it to the finals and listen to it a few more times. Jean looked at me in the computer. I remember that this skirt was specially made by my uncle for Qing, and there is only one in the world. He looked proud. This Mrs. D is Qing. Uncle has always disapproved of Qing's entry into the entertainment industry. See how Uncle cleans her up this time. On the other side, Lin was wearing an assistant at sea, and the assistant's mobile phone rang. What's the matter with Miss Qing? I saw Qing on TV. She hid from her uncle to participate in the competition of Qing and Sinner. If she makes a mistake on stage and gets yelled at on the internet, I'm afraid she'll commit suicide again. Hearing this, the assistant hurriedly showed the mobile phone to Lin, as if it was Miss 5. You see, and it's me singing. Lin asked him, where did it come from? Satellite TV's live singing competition. Don't be angry first. Maybe Miss 5 can't help it. Lin's face was gloomy, and he was ready to plane immediately. And I'm still singing. And on this stage, I've fallen and let down the people I value the most. Now, I'm going to get up from where I fell and make those who love me proud of me. The host raised his hand and signaled, let's hand over the stage to Mrs. D. Bring you come back? I'm back. This familiar and unfamiliar stage opened as late night caressing the cold starlight. I just want to walk into the full moon, looking at the warm heaven from afar. I heard a voice say, come back. I'm forgetting myself and singing beautiful songs, and the 2 judges have already given me a thumbs up and are very positive about my singing skills. Qing also nodded slightly, and the judges on the side also affirmed my song. Jing is not calm. She can't believe that this is me. How could it be? And the netizens in the live broadcast praised my singing voice. This high note is really amazing. Jing began to type frantically and send barrage. This is definitely lip syncing. And she was attacked directly. I'm afraid you can see that you are pretending to be a pig's brain, rich but brainless. Can you lip sync with orchestral accompaniment? Look at my paradise from afar, and the accompaniment of the orchestra behind him continued. The man behind me who was accompanying me looked at me and felt that this person was somewhat familiar. Hard becomes heaven and I am back. Finally, after singing this sentence, it ends perfectly. Audience cheered and applauded throughout the room. I didn't expect to sing such an atmospheric song, and now I still have goosebumps on my arms. Thank you, Mrs. D, for your wonderful singing. Here are for tutors to comment. The judge immediately picked up the microphone and said, I'm coming. Mrs. D, would you like to come to my studio? The audience exclaimed. The first contestant decided to poach people. Mr. Zhao likes Mrs. D too much. Thank you, Mr. Zhao, for your kindness. Cough. Then I will officially comment for this player's performance. I can only describe it into words. Perfect. I immediately bowed in thanks, and everyone applauded and affirmed me. So, can I listen to Mr. Muse comments? This man who can compete with a 4th brother from the outside to the inside, and his songs accompanied me when I was a student. It was also his songs that opened the door to my yearning for music. I wonder what he would say about me. Qing looked at me. If the full score is 10, I will give you 8 points. Any idea why 2 points are deducted? You know, the second time I sang the chorus, I had a low note. At that time, I was too emotionally involved and a little out of control. I didn't expect such small details to be heard. Qing continued to comment, singing should have emotions, but you must learn to control your emotions on stage. He took the microphone and pointed to the audience. Here, I must explain that this 8 points will not exceed 10. Among the current domestic music singers, according to Mu Shen's statement, isn't Mrs. D's ability already surpassing that of most domestic singers. I didn't expect it to be such a high evaluation. The moderator starts to go through the process. Okay, next, we will ask the public judges and professional judges to score. The number of votes on the screen is constantly increasing, and the host is ready to finalize the number of votes that Mrs. D will get. Assistant behind the stage held his hand and blessed. Vote, vote, vote for Sister June. The final number was set at 105 points. Only 3 votes short of it. It's a perfect score. Congratulations to Mrs. D. Thank you all for your support. Now ask Mrs. D to wait in the PK area, and we will randomly draw her opponent by the computer. As the numbers kept changing, the host shouted a stop word, and the last number was 3. Player no. 3 is invited. Queen of Hearts. The audience applauded the contestants. The woman with long hair and a red gown walked out and waved to everyone. The host asked her, Queen of Hearts, can you tell everyone why you came to participate in this competition? The reason why I came to participate in this competition is that I like this competition only to use singing to speak. Hoping to put aside the burden of fame, I rediscovered my heart and made a breakthrough in music. Mu Jinbai listened to these words and did not speak. This contestant is very scheming, obviously implying that she is a well-known singer. She doesn't know that this show is forbidden in all forms. Do you reveal your identity? The host finally said, then hand over the stage to the Queen of Hearts. We bring you the song My Heart Will Go On. Every night in my dreams, I see you. Listen to it. I think Mrs. D is already very powerful. I didn't expect her opponent to be so strong. Why do I find this sound somewhat familiar? Inside the hotel, Lin Fengwan is here, the voice of this Queen of Hearts. They're all thinking. In the end, Lin Fengwan replied affirmatively. It was Bai Lu. Was Chun Qing? This kid is so unlucky. She picked up the glass and smiled confidently. Not necessarily. At the end of the song, thank you. It looks like the Queen of Hearts is going to win. She sings without any mistakes. Better than Mrs. D. Right. The host said, oh my god, it's shocking. Which tutor will review her first? Mu Jinbai was the first to stand up. How much does Elder Mu give me? Mu Shen didn't care about Mrs. D just now, but now he took the initiative to give me a comment. It seems that he is very optimistic about me. In the end, Mu Jinbai said a 5 point, and his face was very indifferent. She immediately asked Mu Jinbai, Mrs. D sang a wrong note and you gave 8 points. Why did I not sing wrong? Why is it only 5 points? Mu Jinbai picked up the microphone. The reason why she sang wrong was because she was too emotionally invested and out of control. But she couldn't hide her flaws. You, on the other hand, are the opposite. Hearing this, the Queen of Hearts panicked and her eyes widened. You're just an emotionless singing machine, mechanically singing every note. Hollow and pale, empty except for the treble. I don't care what other mentors think, but hear for me. Mu Jinbai said indifferently. You fell, and the Queen of Hearts listened to this comment for a while and did not refute it. The audience immediately applauded. Mu Shen's evaluation is very professional. Such a serious Mu Shen is too handsome. Once again, I would like to remind all the contestants that there can be no hint of identity in the show. No matter who you are, you don't treat everyone the same here. Otherwise, the program team is eligible to disqualify the contestant. The Queen of Hearts can only bow helplessly. Thank you, Teacher Mu, for your comments. I will pay attention to emotional control and investment in the future. Next, Mrs. D is invited back to the stage, and we will announce the votes for the Queen of Hearts, who will be the winner of the first PK. In the end, 105 to 103. Congratulations to Mrs. D for a successful PK with a difference of 2 votes. Despite the failure of PK, I still want to congratulate the Queen of Hearts. 103 votes is also a very good result. Now let's take a look at who this powerful singing player is. Give her a round of applause, please. The Queen of Hearts takes off her mask. I'm the singer Bai Lu. I'm sorry to disappoint everyone, because I just came back from a performance out of town. I may not be in very good shape, but I will continue to work hard, and maybe I will come back again in the next episode. She turned her head in disgust. Mrs. D, disrupt my plans. I want to know who you really are. At the end of the first game, the cruise ship should have arrived at the port. I don't know if the 4th brother saw the message I sent. Will he be angry that I'm coming to the game? Everyone in the audience took out their mobile phones to take pictures. 2 hours later, prepare the room. I came to Yi. Yi, what's wrong? Yi said with some worry. Sister June, the players who stay in the second round are preparing more and more exciting. I pinched her chin and moved closer to her body. Don't be nervous. I'll make the cut. Yi nodded shyly. Sister June is too flirtatious. It's now the 5-3 round of the second round of Cayman Sinner. Thanks to the wonderful performances of the first 4 singers, here will be the last contestant in this round. Mrs. D. Her song is Loving You. Everyone is welcome. The audience applauded and cheered. I walked out, put the microphone away, and got ready to put on the show. As the sound of the violin sounds, my singing begins. And it's easy to fall in love with you because you're so beautiful. Being with you is my only wish. On the rooftop of the Cayman Sinner Live building, a helicopter landed. Inside the helicopter, the 2 of them watched my live broadcast. And everything I did was out of love for you. The assistant is listening to my song. Is this Miss Five singing? That's great, isn't it? Dai Lin touched me in the computer, not knowing how I felt at this time. I'll love you more and more. La la la. It ended perfectly, and my singing voice surrounded me. When it was over, there was silence, as if I was captivated by my singing. I was really moved. Listening to Mrs. D sing. I felt like I was back in my youth, singing my favorite songs with a guitar, and I have nothing to comment on. Now I'm a fan of yours. I politely replied with a thank you. The female judge also said that my lines were all snatched by Mr. Chen. Don't think this song is very simple. Even I may not be able to sing it that well. Mr. Zhao looked at me with golden eyes, and the two of them finished speaking. This time, I seriously asked, Mrs. D, have you signed a contract with another company? Whisper in the audience. Laugh something. I'm serious. I'm here to make it clear. No one wants to rob me. Mrs. D, I'm signed. Eugene Bai coughed twice, signaling that it was time for them to finish. Teacher Zhao looked at Eugene Bai staring at him, and immediately said, of course, except for Teacher Miu. The host looked at Eugene Bai. So how many points is Mr. Miu going to give Mrs. D this time? Just now my assistant told me that someone on the internet commented that Mrs. D was the finalist of the tournament, and I deliberately suppressed the Queen of Hearts in order to make her advance, in order to prove that these are not true. This time I will not make a review first. I will write my review on a piece of paper, and I will announce it after the jury has scored it later. Then please ask the judges to score. Who will make the cut tonight? Now the answer is about to be revealed. Dai Lin nervously looked at the final result on the computer. With the end of the countdown and the time is up, a no, 9-player, 108 votes, holds the first. Only then did Dai Lin breathe a sigh of relief and put his mind at ease. The host finally said, congratulations to Mrs. D for getting a perfect score, ranked first. But Dai Lin frowned at this time, very unhappy. I don't want to see anyone hacking her online again. The assistant got off the plane immediately, and I will do it immediately. I ordered an assistant to bring that stinky girl to me. In the Cayman Singer Arena, the host is holding a blank piece of paper. Do you still remember Mu Shen's comment just now? Let me reveal the answer to you. And the number 10 is written on the white paper, which is also the final score given by Eugene Bai. I turned my head to look at Eugene Bai in surprise, wondering why he gave a full score. And Eugene Bai also noticed me and gave me a smile. Yi from behind the stage came over and shouted to me, and I walked towards her. I reached out and hugged her, patted her on the shoulder. Don't bear it, cry. Sister June, congratulations. I'm so happy. The phone in Yi's pocket rang. I almost forgot. Sister June, your phone has been ringing for a long time. Called at this time. Is it? Sure enough, it was Lu Wenqing, who made 5 missed calls, saying that Mr. was on the top floor and came quickly. Looking at the news, I knew it was over, and looked at the phone sluggishly. I waved my hand and prepared to leave. Yi, you help me pack my things. I have to leave in a hurry. Then I hurried to the top floor and pushed open the door. And Dai Lin and his assistant had been waiting here for a long time. The fourth brother had never left his post without permission while sailing, and this time he actually flew back thousands of miles away. I cautiously walked towards the fourth brother. I covered my face. It's over. The fourth brother must be angry. Fourth brother, I'm sorry. I lowered my head, not knowing how to explain it. Dai Lin said coldly, come here. The face is expressionless. I moved my body slowly and walked towards the fourth brother. I looked at the fourth brother, and my face instantly turned bad. Is this too far away to fight? Let me continue to walk in a little. The fourth brother thinks I'm too far away. I lowered my head. Forget it. After all, it's my fault. Just fight. As long as the fourth brother is angry. It didn't turn out that way. He gently dressed me in his clothes, and I looked at him curiously. He asked me to put my arms up and get dressed, and I looked at him incredulously. Fourth brother, I'm sorry. I know it's wrong. You condemn me and scold me. Can you not let me quit the game? Dai Lin snorted. He pulled my hair out again, and I looked at him happily. I hugged the fourth brother. The fourth brother, I love you to death. I knew that the fourth brother was the best for me. He is the most handsome, the best, and the most man in the world. Dai Lin pressed against my head, gently. Congratulations on winning the first place. The fourth brother is proud of you. Wait for the fourth brother to come back and celebrate you well. The cruise ship will leave tomorrow morning, and I will return before departure. I looked at the fourth brother aggrievedly, and after seeing him for such a short time, I was about to leave again. He touched his face. What gift do you want? The fourth brother will bring it back to you. Then I'm going to go to sea with my fourth brother. Okay. Dai Lin was immediately stunned, not knowing how to respond. Tomorrow is the weekend, so I'll be back for class by Monday. It's just a reward for me. I haven't been to the sea with my fourth brother for a long time. I'm going to be kiddish right away. I promise not to make a mess. Okay. The fourth brother finally agreed. I danced happily. Long live the fourth brother. Dai Lin looked at me and smiled. Imperial Capital Zijin apartment. Mu Jingbai's residence. Mu Jingbai kept tapping on the keyboard in front of the computer, and the masquerade singer was promoted to Mrs. D. When I searched for information about this person, I saw a picture on the table of a girl holding him, and Mu Jingbai looked at the computer in disbelief. This is actually light. The computer obviously displays Jun Qing's personal information, but there is no information about his childhood. Mu Jingbai immediately picked up his mobile phone, and the photo on the table was a photo of him and Jun Qing. He said expressionlessly, "Hey, arrange for me to meet someone right away." The person on the other end of the phone also asked him curiously, "Do you mean?" He instantly picked up the photo on the table. It was Jun Qing, and I have already gone to sea with the fourth brother on the cruise ship. How long has it been since I felt the slightly salty air? Dylan looked at me from behind. 10 years later. So nostalgic. I turned my head to look at the decorations on the cruise ship again. Just looked back at the fourth brother on the side. "This is the princess." The fourth brother asked me curiously, "Do you know this ship?" I opened my hands. Of course I know. Didn't the fourth brother design this ship with my paintings? The fourth brother stepped forward. "Do you remember?" I immediately responded, "Not only this incident, but everything I remembered." I reached out and squeezed the fourth brother's hand. I remember the first time I saw the fourth brother on the island. I remember that it was snowing heavily on the day my fourth brother brought me home. I also had a fever that day, and the fourth brother kept watch over me all night. And I kept getting closer to the fourth brother and looking at his face. "Fourth brother, I'm back." The heads of the two are getting closer and closer, and I look at him affectionately. Yours is back gently. My face turned rosy. Dai Lin hugged me tightly. For 2 years, I searched for famous doctors everywhere, just to get back the memories we once had, so that you no longer look at me like a stranger. The fourth brother knows that you will not forget the fourth brother. I lay in his arms. "Fourth brother, do you know how much I miss you in the past 10 years? Till we started dinner." "Fourth brother, cheers." Fourth brother looked at me happily and congratulated you on winning the preliminary round. I immediately raised my glass and drank it, and the fourth brother raised his hand to signal. "Drink slowly. Be careful to get drunk." I blinked my eyes and wiped the corners of my mouth. "It doesn't matter. Anyway, there is a fourth brother who is afraid of something." Gently, you trust the fourth brother, and the fourth brother is very happy. But when will you be able to treat the fourth brother as an ordinary man instead of an elder brother? A voice came from the pager, calling the captain. "Here is the wheelhouse. Everything is checked and ready to leave." Dylan picked up the pager and responded, "Received." He stood up and looked at me. "You eat well and rest. I'll go to the cockpit." I hummed in response. Watching him leave, I thought, I don't believe it. I'm going to make this big piece of wood open tonight. An hour later, my door was opened by the fourth brother. Gently, "Did you sleep?" As soon as I opened the door, I happened to be in front of the closet, wearing my pajamas, reaching for my clothes. "I'll take it for you." Dai Lin's hand reached out directly. I looked at the fourth brother. "Are you done?" But he said, "Rest well. I'll go to the captain's room." I just grabbed his hand and told him not to leave. I looked at him aggrievedly. "Can you stay and sleep with me? I'm a little scared alone." But the fourth brother turned around directly and prepared to leave. The ship was very safe, and no one would come. I hugged the fourth brother from behind and closed my eyes. "I don't care. I'm going to sleep with you." The chest also slowly approached the back of the fourth brother and kept hugging the fourth brother. The fourth brother swallowed his saliva and frowned in place. Then he wanted to take my hand away. Gently, "Let go." I rubbed my face against his back. "No, haven't we slept together before?" The fourth brother turned around. "It was before, and now it is now. You're not a child anymore. You're a woman. I'm a man. You know." I looked at the fourth brother aggrievedly. "What kind of woman do you like?" And the back of my pajamas slowly spread out. With a final stroke, the pajamas fell to the floor. The fourth brother's face instantly turned rosy, and his mind went blank. I held onto my clothes, and as a result, the fourth brother rushed out without hesitation. And now it's a big game. Dai Lim returned to his room, panting, with a kettle in front of him. He took advantage of the situation to pick up the water cup and drank the water to relieve the embarrassing scene just now. Then there was a voice. "Hello everyone, I'm Mrs. D." Dai Lim looked at the TV. "This is the broadcast of Cayman Singer. Mrs. D. Mrs. D. How could you have taken such a name? Could it be the Emperor's wife?" Dai Lin's face instantly turned slightly red, and he became shy. Next morning, the balcony shone in and I woke up. I got up. The fourth brother walked into my room. I wiped the corners of my eyes. "Fourth brother, good morning." I watched the fourth brother hand over the water glass. The fourth brother didn't seem to be angry about what happened last night. "Thank you, fourth brother." I took the glass. Fourth brother looked at me and began to say, "Last night, I watched the broadcast of your game. I immediately happily asked, "What does the fourth brother think of me singing?" The fourth brother approached me and asked, "Why are you called Mrs. D?" I embarrassed and spat out the water I had just drunk. He helped me wipe the moisture from the corners of my mouth. "Why are you so nervous?" Did you find out so soon?" The fourth brother can't flirt too much at once. Otherwise it will backfire. I looked to the side with a weak heart. "I didn't. It's just a pseudonym. Nothing special." The fourth brother also explained, "I know. I just asked why you called this name. Mrs. D translates into Chinese as Mrs. D. Right. This one. That's right. Indeed. Actually, I'm not talking about Mrs. D. I'm talking about Miss D. Miss D. The Stafford at Rome. And I could only make it wrong." The fourth brother breathed a long sigh of relief, thinking in his heart, could it be that I misunderstood? "There's a captain's banquet tonight. Can the fourth brother take you with you?" I happily agreed. I can't embarrass the fourth brother when the time comes. I must prepare well. And I immediately came to this door. "Hello, miss. Is there anything I can serve you?" Puff, the hairy girl running around in slippers is really poor. The to behind me began to laugh at my dress. I just ignore them. I need to straighten my hair, apply a little light makeup, and get my nails done. Please help me arrange it as soon as possible. I'm in a hurry. The waiter looked at the two people behind him. "Wait a minute. I will finish serving this young lady and receive you immediately." As a result, the woman smashed the bank card directly on the table, began to question the waiter. "Why, we're VIP users." And I also took out the VIP card directly. Compared to the level on this ship, there is no more distinguished guest than me. Both of them were stunned. How could she have the highest level black card? I turned and left. Half an hour later, I was sitting in front of the mirror and waiting for the waiter. He sent Wicket on the mobile phone. "Sister June, Lin Fan is looking for you in a hurry at night. Call back quickly." I immediately called Lin Fan 1. "Sister 1, are you looking for me?" "June Qing, congratulations on winning the preliminary championship of Cayman Sinner. I am now your agent, and I will be responsible for all the work arrangements in the future. Last night, Mu Jinbai's assistant contacted me and said he wanted to see you." "Miu, I'm curious. Please confess. How did he know it was me?" "Mu Jinbai acquired satellite TV last year, and the King of Cayman Singers was a program planned by him, and it is not surprising to know your identity." But he did not elaborate on why he wanted to meet you. "I know, Sister Juan. I'm abroad now, and I can only go back on Monday at the earliest." Then the two of them said again, "After doing the hair, we will go to a spa and dress up my sister beautifully. The captain's dinner in the evening will surely fascinate Mr. Captain." I'm listening to their conversation. "Captain, are they talking about the fourth brother?" "Don't be foolish. I'm here to apply for a new ship supervisor position." "I know. The building near the water gets the moon first." "Want to hit my man's idea? Let's see if I say yes." "Still want to be a new ship supervisor." "Think beautifully." The captain's dinner began in the evening, and we all came here. They were talking about it, and they heard that Mr. Captain was young and promising, and he was a famous golden bachelor. Only a man as good as Mr. Captain is worthy of our talented girl. And this woman was a little embarrassed to be said. "Miss Sue, don't make fun of me. How can I be so blessed?" Here, Dai Lin was already standing outside the door, and everyone else looked over. The girl immediately turned her head to look at her sister. "Sister, Mr. Captain is here." Dai Lin walked in, and everyone said, "Welcome, Mr. Captain. Welcome, Mr. Captain." And I was outside the boat, looking at the sea. The waiter behind him came behind him. "Mademoiselle, the captain has arrived, and you can see him when you go in now." I blinked. "Don't rush. It's the right of a beautiful woman to be late." Dai Lin looked around at the people, trying to find out where I was, but he didn't see me. He was thinking, didn't he come gently? At this time, a man waved his hand and looked back. "Xiaoyan, Xiaoyu, come and meet the emperor." "Mr. Dai, these two are my nieces, Xu Yan and Xu Yu." But Dylan just snorted. The man pulled out the chair. "Xiaoyan, you sit here and take good care of the emperor." But Dai Lin looked at the man seriously and asked him to let go of his chair. This person was embarrassed and overwhelmed when he heard Dai Lin so fierce. He immediately pulled out the chair on the side. "Xiaoyan, you sit here with me. Sit next to me." Xiaoyan looked at Dai Lin and wondered who would be the location of this person. Actually let the captain wait for him. At this moment, a pair of feet came over with the clicks. Everyone was drawn to the sound and turned to know who it was. And I was already wearing a gorgeous long dress and continuing to walk inside, not paying the slightest attention to the eyes of the others. Dai Lin was also attracted by the voice and looked over. He smiled and looked at me as he walked over, his eyes revealing happiness. Xiaoyan frowned when she looked at the person who came. "That poor sour girl. How can she be so beautiful?" I came to Dylan and bowed my head. "Mr. Captain, may I sit in this chair?" As a result, the woman on the other side was not happy. "A woman like you is also qualified to sit next to the captain." I looked at her contemptuously. Sure enough, she was a brainless person. Just dig a hole, and you will jump in. I looked at her aggrievedly. So may I ask this young lady, what kind of woman am I? The woman continued self-righteously. Don't think that if you dress up as a vixen, you can climb into Mr. Captain's bed. Hearing a creaking, Dean stood up, his face gloomy and annoyed, and told her to get out. I took the fourth brother's hand. Groaned, fourth brother, she murdered me. The girl was taken aback. What? You are the captain's sister. The two people beside her hurriedly explained. Mr. Dai, Xiao Yu is not sensible. Don't be surprised. Mr. Dai, Xiao Yu, she really didn't mean it. Xiao Yu, don't apologize to Mr. Dai yet. There are a lot of emperors and 5 young ladies. Don't worry about her. Xiao Yu was nervous and wanted to apologize. I'm sorry, but Dai Lin's eyes looked at the two sternly and did not speak. The uncle looked at Dai Lin's eyes, and his body couldn't help but tremble. In the end, it was a slap in her face. I don't know what to do. Don't get out. And Xiao Yu hit her face and cried, and quickly ran out. She couldn't stay here and be embarrassed. I looked at her and smiled. Unabashed little girl, I'll teach you a long lesson today. I looked at the fourth brother happily. The fourth brother, I'm hungry. Let's eat. And the delicacies are already prepared on the table. Fourth brother pushed the wine glass to me. This is your boat. You come to toast. I take the glass and welcome you to my princess. Stand up to everyone. I hope you can have a happy cruise. Cheers. Xiao Yan walked towards me with a wine glass. Just now Xiao Yu was offended, and I punished myself with 3 glasses. It's not a compensatory for my sister to Mr. Captain and Miss Five. Then I drank it directly, and I looked at her like this. Since I want to drink so much, I'll let you drink enough. I stepped forward. The fourth brother still has a job. It is inconvenient to drink more. This cup, I salute the fourth brother in return. And I drank the wine straight away. I put down my glass and said embarrassedly, I can't drink enough. You don't mind if you only take a sip, right? Xiao Yan said that she didn't mind and continued to drink. Damn it, this damn girl just deliberately made me drink more. After a few glasses and drank it again. Ups, are you okay with this young lady? I see your face is already a little red. Have you drunk too much? Xiao Yan said directly, It's okay. It's the captain's banquet today. How can I sweep everyone's interest? Uncle also hurriedly said, Yes, Xiao Yan just graduated from Harvard last year, and she has always liked sailing. This time I heard that the emperor has opened up a new route, and specially begged me to bring her to sea and see. But we didn't pay attention to it, and the fourth brother ignored them completely. I turned my head to look at her. Sister Zhu is so amazing. She is a top student at Harvard. I don't know where you are now. Xiao Yan explained that she didn't have a job yet, and I remember that when Assistant Lu went to Harvard, he had already received many offer letters from large companies before he graduated. No, I've received a lot of invitations, but I'm not satisfied, because I am an avid sailing enthusiast like Mr. Dai. I yearn for the free sea. So, I was thinking, if you search for a few pieces of nautical knowledge on your mobile phone, you dare to pretend to be a sailing enthusiast. Don't set up a character easily. It's easy to collapse. I asked her, since Sister Zhu likes sailing, which one do you think has a greater impact on navigation? The monsoon circulation, the migration of fish, or the ocean currents? What the hell is this problem? I'm a sailing enthusiast who is close to Mr. Dai. Where do I know what has a greater impact? Miss Zhu poked her face. She could only guess one. I think it's the monsoon. I immediately waved my hand. Sister Zhu said wrong. In the age of sailing, the monsoon may have had an impact on navigation. But now in the age of technology, the ship is full of power, and the impact of the monsoon on the ship is minimal. The biggest impact on the course is the ocean currents, which sometimes even deflect the ship from its course. I turned my head and looked at the fourth brother again. Fourth brother, am I right? The fourth brother also said a good word. The people around are praising it, and she is worthy of being the sister of the emperor. Sure enough, erudite. Yes, Miss Five's knowledge is really extensive. Miss Zhu frowned. This girl is deliberately embarrassing me. How could I let her get away? It seems that I still have a lot of knowledge to learn, and if I have the opportunity to work beside Mr. Dai in the future, I will definitely ask Mr. Dai for more advice. Hearing her say this, she didn't give up, still thinking about getting the moon first near the water. Then I'll tear down your foundations. I helped the fourth brother cut the meat. The fourth brother has always hated employees and the leadership of nepotism. I think Sister Zhu is still dead of this heart, and the fourth brother also directly inserted the meat I gave. This woman looked at Dai Lin. The banquet was about to end, and I hadn't said a word to Mr. Dai. I've got to figure out how to get him to notice me. According to Dilling, recent news indicates that the Galapagos tortoise is on the verge of extinction. Miss Shu noticed it immediately. She looked at Dai Lin and smiled and said, "That's really pitiful. I like turtles the most." Dai Lin asked her, "What did you say?" Now was the time. I finally let Mr. Emperor take a look at me. She coughed lightly twice. I had to take my chance to get his favor. "Excuse me, ever since I was a child, I've loved the sea, marine life, and especially turtles. I just heard Mr. Dai mention the endangered Galapagos tortoise. My heart really hurts, so I'm going to take out all my savings over the years as a founding fund and start a tortoise conservation fund with Mr. Dai." I said directly, "Sister Zhu, the Galapagos tortoise is the largest tortoise in the world, not a sea turtle." When the people around heard this, they laughed, and Miss Zhu was very embarrassed. "Tin, get up and cover your mouth in embarrassment and leave here." "I'm sorry, I'm out of company." As a result, she accidentally fell down before she could take 2 steps, and everyone on the side looked at her in surprise. After the dinner, the fourth brother helped me. My head was dizzy. The wind was so strong today, and the boat was shaking so badly. The fourth brother carefully supported me and said that I am drunk, but I pushed the fourth brother's chest straight away. I staggered to my feet, and I wasn't drunk, but my body was already tilting. My hands were crossed, and I couldn't stand on my feet. In the end, the fourth brother was right in front of me, and I fell on his chest. I held the fourth brother in my arms and looked at him with a smile. I just had a little soft feet. The fourth brother put one hand on my waist and picked me up directly. "Fourth brother, do you know that Miss Yu still wants to get close to the water and get the moon first, so I won't give her a chance." Dai Lin looked at me and asked me, "Are you afraid that she will approach me?" Me hand is back. That kind of rotten peach blossom. See one and I will have one. Grow one and I'll cut one. No one wants to seduce the fourth brother. In the end, the fourth brother carried me to the room. The fourth brother put me on the bed. "Okay, you are the best. It's time to go to bed. Let it go gently." I puffed up and said, "I don't. The fourth brother is mine. No one can snatch it away." And one of Dylan's hands was also on the bed. He slowly leaned into me, and I looked at him affectionately. To hugged each other. "Don't worry, the fourth brother is yours, and no one can snatch it away." I snuggled up to the fourth brother's chest, and it was pretty much the same, and the fourth brother reached out and touched my face, and the two looked at each other. Their faces were very close, and the fourth brother asked me, gently, "Tell the fourth brother, do you like the fourth brother?" I looked at the appearance of the fourth brother and laughed happily twice. I waved my hand. "I won't tell you. This is my secret." Dai Ling watched me talk like this, and the little girl was quite weary. "The fourth brother assures you that I won't tell anyone." "Okay, but I don't believe it. You men are liars." After saying this, I fell asleep. When the fourth brother heard me say this, his eyes showed distress. After that, he got up and put me flat. "Okay." The fourth brother didn't ask, "Watch me fall asleep so quickly." He stepped forward and kissed me, but I was already asleep, and I was destined not to know the initiative of the fourth brother. The next morning, the fourth brother said to me, gently, "Today we will go to the shore to see the cherry blossoms." Great! The fourth brother is finally willing to take a vacation, and here the cherry blossoms are reflected on the ground. We came here hand in hand, and the fourth brother said to me, "There are many people. Don't get separated." I looked at the fourth brother. The fourth brother was so active today. The fourth brother took the initiative to look at me. "Let's take a picture too." Right, wrong. The fourth brother, who has always disliked taking pictures, actually took the initiative to ask for pictures. "Is it a good day today?" I promised. Clicked, and we took our first picture. He touched my head. There was a chair in front of me, and we went to rest. This photo is really beautiful. It should be quite suitable for mobile phone wallpaper, and I will also pass a copy to the fourth brother. Right. The fourth brother did not refuse. Stretched out his hand, put the mobile phone in the suit pocket, and took it himself. And I approached the fourth brother and put my hand in his pocket. The fourth brother approached me. "Do you know what you said to me yesterday after you got drunk?" I looked up at him curiously and asked him, a little embarrassed. "What did I say?" "You said you were going to cut off all my rotten peach blossoms, and no woman was allowed to seduce me." "That's because that Shu Yan is not worthy of the fourth brother at all. Of course I can't let her get close to you." The fourth brother touched my chin, and you still grabbed my button and said, "I am yours. No one is allowed to snatch it." I said, "Why is the fourth brother so abnormal today?" Sure enough, there must be a demon when things are surprising. Where did the fourth brother take me out to play? It's clear that he came to Xinxi to ask for sin. I'm already sweating nervously, and I want to continue to explain, but I definitely can't admit it. The fourth brother just looked at me seriously and didn't lie. "Let's be honest. I just don't want my fourth brother to have a girlfriend. I just don't want the fourth brother to like other women. If the fourth brother likes someone else, he won't like me. Other girls have families and parents, but I don't have anything. I only have the fourth brother. If the fourth brother doesn't want me, I have tears in the corners of my eyes. 10 years of wandering in another world, where I was the only one. I didn't want to experience that kind of loneliness again. I was left alone. After listening to what I said, the fourth brother showed a distressed expression. Then he reached out to help me wipe the tears from the corners of my eyes. Slaying the bull. Why wouldn't the fourth brother want you? The fourth brother promises you that he will never like other women, and he will never leave you alone as long as the fourth brother lives for one day. He will spoil you for one day. The fourth brother took me into his arms. Gently, and the fourth brother will never be separated. This is the fourth brother's mobile phone ringing. I'll leave his arms. Fourth brother, you answer the phone first. I'm going to buy a drink. Lin picked up the phone and said one word. Said, "Sir, a guest has come to the ship, saying that he wants to talk to you about Miss Five. What's up?" The assistant continued, and the other party said that the specific matter should be discussed with you in person, and also said that this matter is very important to Miss Five. Wait for me at the gate of the park, and don't mention it lightly. Afternoon cruise to the top bedroom of the ship. I'm sorry, I'll be back after only playing for a while, and next time, the fourth brother will take you to a more beautiful place. It's okay. Fourth brother, go get busy first. I immediately closed the door, leaving the fourth brother alone outside, and Dylan seemed to have noticed someone walking behind him. Just ask where the other person is. The assistant replied respectfully, and the man was waiting for him in the reception room. In the reception room, Dylan walked outside the door and saw someone waiting inside, and Eugene Bai also seemed to have sensed it. So he turned his head. Both saw each other, looked at each other, and seemed to have known each other. The assistant on the side opened the door, and Dylan walked in. The shook hands amicably. Mr. Dai, lone admiration. Welcome, Mr. Mew. Eugene Bai immediately became serious. Mr. Dai, can I talk to you alone? Dylan raised his hand and Saturday down to talk, and the assistant left here. Eugene Bai opened his mouth and asked, "Is Jun Qing on the boat?" And Dylan also answered truthfully. And Eugene Bai continued to ask him, "Can I meet her?" Dylan's face instantly turned bad. "Just look for me if there is anything. As far as I know, Miss Jun Qing is not Mr. Dai's own sister." "Right," Dylan intervened. "What does this have to do with you?" Eugene Bai took out a white photo from his pocket. "Put this picture on the table and push it to Dylan. This is my sister." He bowed his head a little sadly, and when he was 4 years old, he went out to sea with my mother and disappeared. When Dylan heard this, he lowered his head and looked over. When my parents divorced, my sister followed my mother. My mother's surname is Jun, and my sister follows her surname, and her name is Qing. Eugene Bai touched me in the photo. If she was still alive, she would be just as big as Jun Qing. "Now, can you let me see her?" But Dylan directly refused. "No." Eugene Bai stood up directly. "I came to Mr. Dai first because I respect you very much, but this doesn't mean that I have to get your permission." And Dylan did not show weakness, and immediately stood up. "With only one photo? A name? How can you be sure that she is your sister?" Dylan said fiercely. "She looks a lot like my mom, and we can do a DNA test." However, Dylan didn't give her a chance. "You don't want to touch her. Why do you stop it? She was raised by me." Neither of them was convinced by the eyes of the two. "Who do you think you are?" "Just based on a photo, a conjecture. You have to make a general identification. If everything goes wrong, how much does it hurt to lightly?" "Mr. Dai, I know that you and Jun Qing have lived together for many years, and they must have a deep relationship." And before he finished speaking, Dylan shouted when Qing had sent off the guests, and when Qing also opened the door and stood at the door. "Sorry, Mr. Mew." Eugene Bai also looked over. In the end, he could only turn around and leave here helplessly, and Dylan still intervened and didn't want to pay attention to it. He watched Eugene Bai leave the ship and said to Wen Qing, informing all the passengers that the cruise ship would leave the port in an hour. Then he turned around and looked at him seriously and found out the details of Eugene Bai, especially about his sister. Then he came to the door, knocked on the door, and shouted inside, "Please come in." When Dylan opened the door, he saw that I was sorting out my clothes, and he was a little sad and didn't know what to do with it. "Fourth brother, I've almost packed all my things, and it's only a 2 or 3 hour trip back from here. Can I leave again in the evening?" "Don't worry, wait for the boat to reach the end. Let's go back together. You can review on the boat in the next few days, and I will ask Wen Qing to help you ask for leave." Long live the fourth brother. I happily hugged the fourth brother, who stroked my head and smiled. Eugene Bai chased him to the boat to find Qing. He would definitely not give up if he left like this today, and he couldn't let him have a chance to contact Qing before the matter was was clarified. An hour later, when the cruise ship left the shore, Eugene Bai instructed his assistant to book a return ticket early tomorrow morning. His heart is very unhappy. Emperor Lin, if you don't let me see Qing, then I'll go directly to the school to see her. For the next few days, the fourth brother took me around. It's like going back to the old days when we went to sea together. Full and happy. 4 days later, the empress mentioned, I've had so much fun these days. When will I be able to go to sea with my fourth brother again? I look at the breakfast on the table. How is it only my breakfast? What about the fourth brother? The gentleman left last night, just came back last night and left in the middle of the night. Where did it go? The gentleman didn't say where to go, but he told you not to worry. He would come back in the evening to see your show. Well, today is Mr. Anthony's exchange performance, and I have a lot of things to do, so I can only look forward to the fourth brother coming over in the evening. Here at the conservatory, a girl is walking towards me. Gentlemen, oh my God, you're here. I've been looking for you for days. I was curious to ask who she was. I'm a Wayne. The orchestral department plays the flute, and you appointed me as the vice president, so you won't forget me, will you? Societies. By the way, it was the time traveler who established a musical theater club at the school in order to be in the limelight. As a result, he just acted as a hands-off shopkeeper and didn't care about anything. I coughed lightly twice. How could it be? I just didn't recognize it for a while. She pulled me out of here, and everyone was dying in a hurry these days. Fortunately, you came back in time. Otherwise, our club would be over. You move out now. There are not 10 people in total, so you are embarrassed to occupy such a large activity room. Is also a musical theater club, and I don't look in the mirror. Just a few of you crooked melons and crack dates still want to act in musicals. This boy is the first to stand up and speak. Can you say a few words? The other members were frightened and did not speak. That's when I came here and opened the door. I saw the boy in front of me holding his collar with a fierce look. Why, are you not convinced? His Sewing stood in front of him. What are you doing? And the boy cried out, I tell you, take your things away at once. Tenet pointed to the flag on the side, or we'll throw it out for you. He grabbed the flag of our society with one hand. I shouted at me to stop. It's our thing. You can't touch it. The boy pointed at the orchid and pointed. Oh, isn't this our president? Don't stare at me like this. The Lon family is so scared. The people behind him laughed at these words, and I had to face them alone. The club room is arranged by the school. If you are not satisfied, you can go to the school leaders to apply for feedback. Please do not affect the normal activities of our club. The girl standing at the window jumped down and snorted coldly. She looked at me with a smug face. You are the president of the musical theater club. Qing, it's me. Who are you? I'm Chen Shui, vice president of the hip-hop club. Everyone is a classmate, and I will give you a face before the weekend. You move out of here and I can keep your community alive. I looked at her with sharp eyes. Little brat, threatening me. Otherwise, I smiled evilly, and I couldn't bear to let this little kid go. Here otherwise. Chen Shui was upset and asked me otherwise. I guarantee that you won't pass this club review, and the musical theater club will be in the past tense in the future. She was holding our flag, fell directly to the ground without the slightest hesitation. Tenet stepped on top of the flag and insulted us directly. He waved his hand in front of me again, signaling for the people behind him to get out of here. Just as she was about to leave, I grabbed her hand and she looked at it too. Without the slightest hesitation, I twisted her hand and she screamed in pain. She immediately begged for mercy, showing an uncomfortable face. So painful to let go of me. These boys are anxiously watching. You let go of our vice president Chen. I looked at her with a gloomy face and picked up our flag. Chen Shui is still stiff-mouthed. Qing, let me tell you, let me go immediately. No, I just put one foot on her leg. Keep yelling at her and pick it up. Chen Shui didn't stand firmly and knelt on the ground directly. I continued to pick it up, and Chen Shui grabbed the flag with one hand. Tears were already showing in the corners of his eyes, and he was very unwilling, gritting his teeth with hatred. The other hand slowly raised the flag. Hand it to me, and I reached out to take our flag, and that was the end of arrogance. I let her go, let go of her hand, and said no more. Chen Shui walked towards their personnel, turned her head, and continued to intimidate me. Qing, you wait. I looked at her with a smile and a little curious, as if she didn't know it hurt. I'll just walk towards them. Chen Shui stepped back directly in fear. Don't you come? Our members looked at Chen Shui behind him with a sneer. Chen Shui said angrily, HMPH, don't be complacent. It's about to be the final club audit. Tenet raised a finger. I'm waiting for your club to close. Finally, he slammed the door shut. I picked up the flag and looked at the boy on the side. Are you okay when you pick it up? The boy nervously said it was okay. President, that trick you just made is so handsome that Chen Shui relied on her boyfriend to be the president of the student union, and she was powerful every day, and she would dare to be so arrogant in the future. Hisuyuin was worried, but I was afraid that our club would not be open for a few days, and the school would have to rate and manage the clubs, and clubs below 4 stars would be closed. This rating is the responsibility of the student union, and Chang Chiachua will definitely not let us pass easily, and the current few people in our club can't even meet the most basic number requirements. I handed her the flag as student council president, and it couldn't cover the sky. What is the required number of people in a club? The school requires a minimum of 10 people in the club, and now there are only 9 of us including you. I remember that when the musical theater club was established, it was a club of more than 100 people, and now there are less than 10 people left. No wonder it was so ridiculed by the hip-hop dance club. I have a performance tonight. Now I want to familiarize myself with the repertoire. You organize a poster for club recruitment, and recruit some new people to come in first. We'll look at the rest tomorrow, Hisuyuin said happily. President, are you really ready to manage this club? I was a little surprised to hear this, so I turned to look at them, and they looked at me nervously, not sure if I was going to manage the club. It seems that these people are really into musicals and this society. I won't let you down again. Hisuyuin took the lead in firming up his ideas, and the president can rest assured, we will definitely stick to it with you. I came to her. We must not only persevere, but also make the musical club bigger, stronger, and better. When the time comes, let the hip-hop club impress all those who have mocked us. They want us to close the club. We just want to do better. I'm clenching my fists, so let's do it now. Come on. When I come to the practice room, I have to hurry up and practice, and the 4th brother will come to see my performance in the evening, so I can let him down. And there is already a boy practicing the piano here, and there is a viola next to him. I can see clearly this boy. How can he be again? The silence of practicing violin here before. He made marks on the notebook, and the rustling sound was somewhat noticeable. I came up behind him and looked at this piece, and asked him that this is a piece you wrote. Only then did Lane Moen notice me. He immediately stood up and looked at me with his tone. Then he covered his notebook, lowered his head, and said that he would leave immediately. Watching him leave, I immediately said, if you need help. As a result, before he finished speaking, he heard him say no. I sighed awkwardly and didn't continue. I sat her down, and when I put down my bag, I saw a few pieces of paper under my feet. I then picked it up and looked at it to see what he wrote. After reading it, I really didn't see the wrong person. Well, it should be better. I picked up a pen and revised it on it. The phone in my bag was buzzing on the floor, but I didn't notice. Here, Mu Jinbai's assistant said, Sir, Miss Juin Qing's phone has not been answered. He was thinking, today was supposed to be her and Anthony's piano performance. Why didn't he answer the phone? Could it be that the emperor is doing it again? Thinking of this, he was very angry and went to the conservatory.